Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Hangover series. Hope everyone is having a gorgeous, beautiful day. It is snowing in Chicago right now. It apparently snowed last night. Woke up this morning to our living room windows open because I opened them. They've been open for like 2 weeks probably because it gets so fucking warm in here from the heater, and you guys know. I don't even need to get into it. You guys know. But anyways, I had our windows open because it's been so goddamn hot. And then I woke up this morning, went to take a little pee. Ice fucking cold out there. My toes were like, that was the sound they made. They shriveled up into kind of like a roly-poly form. And they were freezing cold. And then like the toilet was freezing cold. Everything I touched was freezing cold. I'm trying to think of other things I touched this morning, but don't remember. Everything was just freezing fucking cold, but this was like very early in the morning, so like I didn't have time to process like windows open, it's snowing, you should close the window. So I just went back to bed. Woke up another time this morning and I was like, wow, it's still fucking cold. And apparently it snowed last night. So that's kind of gorgeous. I know that a lot of people hate snow, but I actually love snow. I love when the seasons change. Like I feel like it gives an excitement, kind of. I don't know. I love when they change. Like I'm obviously going to get sick of winter at some point, but going from fall to like winter is just so magical. It's so beautiful when the first snow falls and it's so gorgeous outside. Like obviously once people start walking and driving through it and it gets kind of ugly, not as fun anymore. And with like the freezing, not as fun anymore. But seeing like snow fall and getting the first snow is so gorgeous to me. Love it when the trees change. I feel like we didn't even really have like fall happen this year because I feel like it was really warm outside this whole time. I don't know. I barely even saw like the trees change colors, but I do love a season changing. I wish I had a Christmas tree here, but I don't. I have like a very mini one, so maybe I'll put that up, but I don't have like a very large tree. But I am excited to go back to Nebraska and see a tree. But my family is not about putting trees up before Thanksgiving. I personally, like, when I do own a large Christmas tree, that bitch would have been up before Halloween, okay? That thing would have been up June 21st on my birthday. Like, I just love a Christmas tree. But my family is not about that. I don't know if they hate Christmas or something, but I swear I've tried to ask, like, can we put this up now? Like, in November? And they're like, no! So it definitely won't be up when I go back home this time, but when I go back for Christmas, that tree is gonna be up. Also, a fun fact about Christmas trees in my family, if anyone cares, we have like a couple of ornaments that have my face on them from when I was like a child and my sister's face, and we kind of like fight about who gets to be front and center on the tree. And I always put her picture like in the literal back of the tree somewhere she like can't find it. And I'm always front and center. And then I'll come home and then it's like mixed up and I'm in the back of the tree and she's in the front. But I feel like she always gives up and I end up always being front and center on the tree and she's nowhere to be found. So that's what's happening. It is freezing cold. I feel like I had something to tell you guys, but I genuinely can't even remember. I watched La La Land last night. Well, I attempted to watch it because I kind of wanted to like watch a rom-com that made me sad. I like felt like crying. But I think I was way too distracted by it because I didn't realize that it was a musical, which like I love a musical, but I feel like you have to be in the mood to like watch a musical. I don't know, it can be a lot, and I did not realize it was a musical at all. So I was like, wait, I was like not down to watch a musical, but I kind of watched it, I kind of didn't watch it. I ate like scallion potatoes, I think that's what they're called. And I don't know, I made caramelized onions this week and I'm very happy about it, and I think I'm gonna have a new obsession with caramelized onions. Like, I don't know why I've never made those before. I feel like I used to hate onions when I was a child, but as you like get older, you start to love onions. It's like people that hate tomatoes. I know like 3 people that fucking despise tomatoes, and I'm just like, maybe one day they'll like tomatoes. I don't know. Which also, a really random fun fact, one time I talked to this guy, and him and my best friend hated the exact same foods. They both hated like tomatoes, onions, cucumbers, olives. I don't know if they hated olives, but they both hated the exact same foods, and it was really weird. And me being me, I was like, is he my soulmate? Because what are the odds that him and my best friend hate the same foods? Like, that's crazy. What the fuck is up? It is your host, Erica Nalen, and welcome back to another episode of the Hangover series. I'm kind of overheating right now, but I'm wearing this adorable little comfy set from Old Navy. They were having like a huge sale online, and if I see the word sale when I go online shopping, like that's really bad for me because I will be purchasing everything. So I got a cozy little like lounge set. Bought the pants in like way too big of a size for me because I thought, I don't know what I was thinking. I like wanted them to be oversized, but I feel like that wasn't smart to do with these kind of pants. But I'm hoping that when I wash them again, like they'll shrink or something. I don't know. I don't really know how that works. My mom the other day like yelled at me because I told her that I just kind of like throw everything into the washer. Like I'm never reading how you should dry something or wash something. Like I just, kind of throw it in there and hope for the best. And like for the most part, nothing bad has ever happened. And maybe I should knock on some fucking wood. But I've just never read directions on like how to wash things. I just like hope for the best. But for today's episode, I wanted to talk about something that I've honestly wanted to talk about for a while now, but I didn't really know how to go about it or when the right time to, I guess, talk about it was. And then I had a situation happen the other week that really upset me and triggered me and really just brought a lot of emotions out of me, and it made me really upset. And I was going to sit down and record this episode literally right then and there when this situation occurred. But I was like so upset that I was like, you know what, maybe let's just take a breather and write down how we're feeling and then come back to it and talk to the podcast about it, because I think I've done episodes before where I'm heated and saying things, and this conversation that we're going to have today is something that is extremely important to me, and I just felt like it was more of a discussion I should have when I'm not angry and heated. So yeah, this is just a conversation I've been wanting to have for a while, and I think it's something that sometimes I feel like people are like, let's not talk about it, or keep to yourself, I guess is kind of how I feel sometimes. Or I feel like this topic is sometimes when you try to bring it up, people are like, do we really need to talk about that right now? Or like that kind of brings down the mood. And if it feels like it brings down the mood to someone, or someone is like, I don't want to hear about it, that's very unfortunate, because this happens on a daily basis. So it's something that I think we do need to be talking about. And I don't really care if it rubs you the wrong way, because the people that are saying those things are probably not the people that are experiencing these things, so they don't understand. But just wanted to give a little bit of a trigger warning before we get into the topics I'm going to talk about. I'm just kind of going to be going through a little bit of sexual harassment, some inappropriate experiences, and things that I've seen and gone through with men, with random men, with men that I know, just different conversations surrounding that. So just wanted to give a little bit of a trigger warning just in case any of these topics are sensitive to you, or something that you are not in a good place or comfortable listening to or hearing about. Just wanted to give a forewarning. But yeah, I know that my episodes might confuse some people at times, because I feel like a lot of my episodes are me laughing and giggling and talking about my night out and being hungover and being a party girl, whatever you want to call it. And then sometimes you come to my podcast and it's more of a serious conversation about men or about this harassment that we're going to be talking about today, or about therapy and stuff like that. And I know that might be confusing to listeners. I'm not actually sure, but I feel like some people could be like, what is the point? Like, she's laughing and giggling one day and the next day she's serious. And I feel like that actually is the point. Both can be true. As much as I love to laugh and sit down and giggle and be weird with you guys, unfortunately, as much fun as that is, there is a whole other side to life as being a woman and being a girl where it's not all laughs and funs and giggles. And I just think it's important to, not glorify that you can just be a girl and life is so fun and life is so about tequila shots and going to the bar and life is this and that, because there's also a whole another side to literally just being a woman as a whole and what we deal with from men on the daily. So I think it's just something that's really important to me, and I just, think it's important to talk about the negative sides of things and what feels like the consequences of being a woman, as much as it's important to talk about, the fun parts of life. So that is what today's episode is going to be about. And yeah, I guess let's get into it. And yeah. So what kind of, I guess, triggered today's episode or sparked me really wanting to discuss this topic was a situation that happened to me the other day. Unfortunately, I have had and been in way too many situations, like I can't even remember them all, where men have just said the craziest shit to me or they've harassed me. I've been in crazy situations and we're going to go through some of them. But this situation the other week just brought out a lot of emotion for me. I feel like one of the consequences that we deal with as being women is that I feel like we can never catch a break. Ever. Like, you could be doing everything right. Like, you could be having the greatest day and some man just like comes in and ruins it. I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say, but basically, I just feel like there's no way to avoid these kinds of situations. Like, as much as I have tried to navigate and like avoid the situations that I've been in, there's just absolutely no way to avoid them. Like, men are just going to act the way that they're going to act, I guess. So the other day I am minding my business. I am having a normal fucking day. I'm working, I go work out, I'm working again, and lunchtime comes around, and I really want a Chipotle, as one does. We love Chipotle. There happens to be a Chipotle near my apartment, so I do an online pickup, order my Chipotle, and it's time to pick it up. I was not having the best day this day. I feel like, sometimes you just have a bad day and you're just not in the mood to talk to people. And sometimes I have really bad days where I don't even want to go outside. Like, I don't want to deal with the public. And honestly, what we're going to talk about, that's one of the reasons why I kind of hate going outside sometimes, is because every time I do go outside, I just know that something could be said or could happen. And sometimes I just, don't want to deal with that. So I go to pick up my Chipotle and I'm walking there. Everything's totally fine. Minding my business. I had literally just taken a shower, so my hair is dripping wet. I'm wearing sweats, whatever. I go pick up my Chipotle This is like a 10-minute experience. Like Chipotle is literally like a 3-minute walk from my apartment. So this all happens in the span of 10 minutes. I pick up my Chipotle. I'm leaving Chipotle. And I start walking back to my apartment. I had literally just walked outside of Chipotle. Like literally just walked outside. And I start walking and I noticed that this man is staring at me, which, you know, people stare. People be staring. I notice when anyone is looking at me because I just feel like I really have to be aware of my surroundings. And this man is just staring at me. I can feel him staring at me. And, you know, I like am looking at him through my peripheral vision because I obviously don't want to stare at him, but I'm like, you know, figuring out what he looks like through my peripheral vision. And he looks super normal. He's wearing a hat. He's wearing glasses. He's wearing a flannel. Like, he is wearing a very put together outfit. And I just like had a feeling as I was walking and as he was staring at me, I had a feeling inside of me that he was going to say something to me. And I was like, please do not say anything to me. Like, please just walk by. Please just walk by. Like, I really am like praying right now that this man does not say anything to me. Like, I do not want to deal with a man right now. I don't want to deal with any of this. Like, please, please, please just don't say anything. Please just keep walking by me. So I'm thinking that in my head. And as he walks by me, he stops, points at me, and yells to everybody outside because this is a popping area. There are tons of people outside, which is also another reason why I was like, please don't say anything, because I just knew that, I don't know, I could just sense that if this man was going to say something, he was going to make it known and he was going to bring a lot of attention to me. And he stops and he points at me and yells, basically. He says very loudly while pointing at me, I would eat the fuck out of her fucking pussy. And when I told people this, like, they honestly laughed. So if you are like, what the fuck? Like, I get the reaction. Like, everyone I told, like, genuinely laughed because it's like, what did he say? And I'm like, yes. So he says that, and I immediately started crying, which I feel like these situations have happened to me so many times that I normally am pretty good in these situations, unfortunately, and I can just like ignore it and go on with my day and keep moving on. But I think like I was already having a really bad day, sensing that this man was going to say something and just like realizing like it sucks that I can't just like walk to Chipotle and pick up my fucking burrito bowl with chips and guac and walk home and like not be harassed on the fucking street. Like, it sucks. So I started like tearing up and crying because I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, why? Like, why does this always happen? And luckily, these two men happened to be walking in front of me. One was probably like in his 50s. One was probably like my age. And they were like right in front of me. And everybody heard this man say this to me, which was also why I was like so upset, because that's just like, why are you screaming and announcing this to everybody outside? Now everybody is staring at me because they're like, who the fuck is this man talking to? And now everybody is staring at me outside. Like, I already have anxiety. I don't want attention and people just like staring at me when I'm just trying to pick up Chipotle right now. So these two men in front of me obviously heard him because they were right next to me, and they turned around and like gave him a face. And then the older one started walking next to me, thankfully, but this is like the first time I've ever had someone actually like care in the moment. But he started walking next to me and was just like, I can't believe he said that to you. Like, I'm so sorry. It sucks to be a woman. And as he was like, it sucks to be a woman, I'm just like, in my head, like, it's so crazy to me that we all know that men are doing stuff like this. Like, we are all fully aware, you know, we all see it, and nobody, like, does anything. Like, I mean, I don't know what you can do in that moment, but the guy that was walking with me was like, you need pepper spray. And I'm like, even if I had my pepper spray on me right now, I can't just like pepper spray a man for speaking words to me, I don't think. Like, I mean, I wish I could, but like if I pepper sprayed him in the face for saying that, like, am I allowed to do that? Like, I genuinely don't know, because I feel like then it would turn back on me, you know? So it's like sometimes you doing nothing is apparently what you're supposed to do. I don't know. But they walked with me for a little bit, and then I walked home, and when I got upstairs to my bedroom, I just started bawling my eyes out, because it is just so frustrating to me that I can't just go get Chipotle. Like, that was a 10-minute overall experience. Like, walking to Chipotle, picking it up, and walking back home. Like, why? Like, why? Like, it just frustrates me. And it's so annoying that we just like expect that to happen to us. I don't know. Like, literally when I felt this man staring at me, I was like, yep, please, dear God, don't say something to me. And the fact that I have to like be praying in my brain, like, please don't say anything, please don't say anything, please don't say anything, because it happens so often, is really disgusting and disturbing, and like just sucks. So basically, that man that yelled that at me in front of everybody brought out today's episode, because I've been wanting to talk about stuff like this, but I just literally didn't know how to just like sit down and say it. But then when this happened, I was like, you know what? Fuck all of this. Like, I've been saying fuck all of this, but like, it's just really frustrating. And it just sucks, because knowing that, like, that man that walked me home and being like, oh, it sucks to be a woman. Like, yeah. And he's like, you need pepper spray. Like, yeah, but like pepper spray doesn't stop the words that are coming out of a man's mouth, unfortunately, either. You know, like, yeah, that's great, but what's not great is that I'm not gonna forget that a man pointed at me and said he's gonna eat the fuck out of my fucking pussy in front of a crowd of people. Like, that's what I'm not gonna forget. I feel like another thing that, which I think I'm just gonna go through like examples, I guess, of what we deal with, because I mean, we're all aware of it, but are we? Another example, I guess, that occurs a lot and that like really upsets me is that obviously when men say disgusting things, like, it's like, that was disgusting, but it's also like the way that men stare at us as women is also really disgusting and uncomfortable. And I'm sure so many of us have experienced when you are talking to a man or a group of men and they are just only focused on anything but what you're saying. And I feel like we know what I'm saying. Or just like overall that. Like, it's just like, why can't I have a conversation with a man without him sexualizing me in some way and staring at my body parts the whole time? Like, can he listen to anything I'm saying? Like, this is uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. I don't like this. I've seen men stare at women in really disturbing ways outside before. Like, I am a big eye watcher, because I feel like anytime I'm in public, like, I'm always just trying to be aware of my surroundings, because I just was young and naive once, and just now I am very aware of what's going on. For the most part, I try to be. So I'm always just watching people's eyes. What are these men staring at? And when you go out to a restaurant or the next time you're walking on the street or something, just watch a man's eyes, because it's really disturbing, and it honestly like makes me never want to get married sometimes. I swear, like, I also was a server, but you can just watch these men, you're serving them, you're whatever, and immediately when you leave the table, all of them are looking at your ass. And it's like, don't want to serve that table anymore. Like, eyes up here. Or when you're walking by men and on the streets, and then all of a sudden everyone is also looking at your ass. Like, random shit like that. I watched a man on the train the other day. This woman is minding her own business. I think she had just gotten off of work or something. I don't know what she was doing. She's living her life. And the whole time she's on this train, these men are just staring at her in such a disgusting fucking way. And I was just like trying to watch everybody because I'm like, these men are staring at this woman in such a disturbing, distasteful way that is like making me so uncomfortable, and it is not even happening to me. And I don't even think this girl was like aware that all of these men on the train were looking at her like this, but I was just like so disturbed because it's not even just like one man, like it's so many men. Another thing that I guess goes along with this is like, I know that this has happened to so many other women too, and this drives me insane, but I don't understand where men were taught or why men think that they can just like touch a woman, basically. This has happened to me multiple times. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, this has happened more times than I would even like to know to me. But a specific example of this and the touching is that one time a friend and I in Chicago went out with these two guys. It was not a double date by any means, but I think a lot of men get this thing in their brain where they think that just because it's two men and two women that this automatically means a double date is happening. I don't really know. So my friend, I think, was like, had been texting one of the guys for however long, I don't know, and she wanted me to come, and then he also brought a friend, but like nowhere in that book did anyone say this was a double date. Nowhere in this book did I say I was interested in the guy he was bringing. Never would have been interested in the guy he was bringing. Like, so we get like a drink with these guys. I think we got lunch with them. I know there were margaritas had. Not flirting with this man in any way. We even were like asking him about like, who are you seeing? Are you on Hinge? Like, have you been on dates? Like, fully making it fully aware that I'm not interested in him and that this is not a double date, which I don't even think I should have had to do, but like that is what the conversation was like. I was talking about guys I was seeing. We're asking him if he's on Hinge. Like, it's very clearly not a double date. I'm very clearly not interested. We go to another bar with these guys. My friend is, obviously flirting with the guy that she set this thing up with. Whatever, they're flirting, they're having a good time. Obviously, I'm communicating with the other friend that is there because that is what you do as humans. When your friend is flirting with a man, you are gonna talk to the other person standing there. Like, that is just common knowledge. Who else would I talk to? I'm not just gonna stand here and be quiet. Obviously, we are gonna communicate words to each other. And as we're standing there, this friend of his just grabs my ass out of nowhere. He just starts putting his hands on my ass. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? And when I'm in these situations, I feel like I try to prep my brain for when the next man is going to grab my ass, that I'm going to like smack him in the face and I'm going to be like, don't fucking touch me. But then when it happens, it's like something happens. Like, you go into a state of shock almost, where it's like, is a man grabbing my ass right now? Is this actually happening? Like, what do I do? And you would think that after enough times of this, I would know what to do, but it's like, you go into a state of like, I don't know what to do. Like, why is this happening again? men are scary and like, I don't know. So he grabs my ass and I'm like in my brain, like, what the actual fuck? And luckily I was with a girl that cares. So I told her and she told him, like, don't touch her. And instead of this man being a normal human fucking being and coming up to me and being like, oh my God, I'm so sorry for touching you. Like, what the fuck? I'm so sorry for touching your ass. I don't know. Like, honestly, just him being able to be like, hey, sorry for doing that would have been a whole lot better than what this pathetic man does. So my friend tells him to not touch me. And he throws a fucking fit and is like, what the fuck? Like, blah, blah, blah. Whatever the fuck comes out of his mouth that I don't even care about. Throws a fucking fit and storms out of the bar. Like, how fucking old are you? It's so fucking funny that the creepy fucking weirdo men that are fucking assaulting women and then they get called out for it, like, throw a fucking tantrum and storm out of the bar. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I've never seen that man again. I've never even heard of him. I don't even know his fucking name, thank God. But it's just insane to me that this has definitely happened to so many women where we are just trying to have a fun night out with the girls. We are just minding our fucking business. Maybe we're talking to a guy for 5 seconds. Maybe we're not even talking to a guy. Maybe we're just standing at the fucking bar ordering a drink and a man just touches you inappropriately, unsolicited. Like, what the fuck? And they think that they can just do that. Like, they're acting like we're fucking mannequins at a fucking store. Like, we're not real human beings. Like, they literally just think they can just come grab your fucking ass. And then when you're like, hey, don't fucking touch me. I don't know if you forgot, but like, I'm a real human being and you can't just like go touch something. Like, I'm a fucking mannequin in a store, you fucking freak. They throw a tantrum and they storm out of the bar. It's so fucking pathetic. And I took a self-defense class and I learned a really good skill in it, and like, I'm not afraid to use it next time. So this is just my warning. If you want to cry like a little fucking baby, because apparently you're already crying like a fucking baby by throwing a tantrum and leaving the bar, I can make you cry 10 times harder next time. So this is just my warning, because don't think I am going to be as nice next time this fucking happens, because I shouldn't have been nice the whole fucking time this has ever happened. So I think another really important piece that comes with this is that when these things happen, most of the time, majority of the time, when you say something or when you do something about it, it gets totally dismissed. Gets completely dismissed. For example, I feel like if you went up to a bouncer and was like, hey, this man did this. I mean, maybe there's a bouncer that cares out there. I'm not really sure. But in my experience, a lot of bouncers are like, get over it. Deal with it. I'm not kicking him out of the bar for that. When I was in middle school, which I don't even like think I even processed this in middle school, but when I was in middle school, these guys in my grade came around and like smacked certain of us girls' butts in the hallway, completely unannounced. Like, I remember when it happened to me because I was like, what the fuck? And it happened to multiple other girls too. I was just grabbing like my fucking math book out of my locker, and some kid in my grade just comes up and grabs my ass as hard as he fucking can. What? And when it happened, I don't even think I like told my mom or anything, because I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, what is this? Like, I was just grabbing a math book. I'm at school where you're supposed to feel safe, at my locker, grabbing a math book. Like, what the fuck? And like the girls that it was happening to, like, we all told each other, obviously, and we're like, what the fuck? Like, there were multiple of these little fucking children like grabbing our butts and doing that stuff. And then finally someone spoke up and told on them, thank God, whoever that was, thank you. Somebody told on them, and I think they got, suspended for like 2 days or something, and then got to come back to school like nothing ever happened. And I don't know. I feel like if there are multiple kids at this school, like fucking just grabbing middle schoolers' asses like that, like there should have been way bigger consequences than just not having to go to school for 2 days. Like, honestly, I feel like suspensions are kind of pathetic, because what do you mean you don't get to come to school for 2 days? Like, people enjoy not going to school for 2 days, and you know that their parents are probably at home, like, letting them play video games all day. Like, I just feel like that was our, like, we were minding our business and unfortunately had to be assaulted, and then they get to just not go to school for 2 days and just get to play video games all day at home. Like, I mean, maybe their parents took that seriously, but people have jobs, so I just have a feeling they probably were at home just playing video games all day. And I don't know. I don't even think the school really did anything about it after that. Like, they just came back to school and we pretended everything was normal and completely dismissed the whole situation. And I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong on this, but I don't know if I'm wrong on this because I'm like remembering this, but I'm pretty sure that they recommended like maybe we don't wear leggings to school. As if the leggings are the fucking problem. Like, it's fucking pathetic. Like, I'm pretty positive they were like, well, maybe like don't wear leggings. Like, you girls wear leggings a lot. Like, maybe teach boys to keep their hands to their fucking selves. Because why was this happening when I was 11 years old and men were doing this, and now I'm 24 years old and men are still doing it? Like, the very big problem here is clearly men, and it's not what we're ever wearing. Like, ever. So it's just crazy that we're recommending women don't wear certain things, and it's like, maybe boys need to go to fucking camp and learn how to respect women, because they're doing it when they're 11, they're doing it when they're 24, they're doing it when they're fucking 70 years old. So maybe teach men how to just respect women as a whole. Which kind of brings me into my next topic, is like, when you have these conversations with men, or, for me at least, when I've tried to explain what women deal with, or these situations I've been into, people I've dated, just men I've been friends with in the past, people in a fucking social circle, I don't know, like, if we've ever talked about these things, especially people that I've, had a relationship with, because it doesn't clock to fucking men. Like, it just doesn't go through their brain. Like, they know the words that you're saying, but they don't understand what you're saying. They don't even try, I feel like, honestly. But these are just some of the things that men have said to me when I've tried to explain these situations to them. I've heard, well, you put yourself in that situation. What? What do you mean? I don't even remember what situation that was, but yeah, I've been told by multiple men, like, well, you kind of put yourself in that situation, or, well, why were you at the bar until 3 a.m.? Or, well, maybe you shouldn't have had another tequila soda. I don't know. And it's like, wait, why does me having another tequila soda have anything to do with this? Why does me getting in an Uber alone have anything to do with this? Why does me wanting to stay out until the bar closes at 2 a.m. have to do with any of this? Like, what? Men are doing that. Women are doing that. Everyone's doing that. The bar closes at 2 a.m. for everybody. Like, another thing I've heard from men so many fucking times is, well, what were you wearing? What were you wearing? Or what was she wearing? If someone else is telling a story about someone, they're like, well, what was she wearing? Like, oh, was she revealing, like, was she wearing a revealing outfit? Like, was she wearing a mini skirt? Like, what was she wearing? As if that has anything to fucking do with it. Like, what was the man doing? Bitch, men don't put on clothes and women go outside and be like, oh, that man is shirtless. Let me go fucking touch him. Like, no one's doing that. Men started wearing shorter shorts. No one started going up to them and just like touching them. Like, no one's doing that. So, babe, again, it has nothing to do with what we're wearing. And like, it's so sick that men actually think that because a woman wants to wear a certain outfit, that means that they can just do what they want with that. Like, what the fuck? Men like actually need to go to camp or something. Like, what are we teaching kids in school? Because it's really sad that so many men think that way, because that's what they're taught. That's what people are okay with, apparently. That no one's stopping them from being like, well, what was she wearing? Like, babe. Another situation that I was in, and this one like really just makes me disgusted. I used to talk to this guy many years ago, unfortunately. Many years ago, I talked to this little fucking rat that I should never have talked to. And we talked for a while, whatever. Whenever we talked, we've obviously hooked up years ago, like so many years ago. And we had hooked up, we talked, whatever, years ago. A couple years later, this man still finds any excuse to like bring up the fact that he has gotten with me before. And, you know, ever since we ended things, he has never said something nice about me since. And that's totally fine. He doesn't have to have anything nice to say about me. But this man, unfortunately, for a while, we had a lot of mutual friends. So I would oftentimes like still see him in mutual settings, whatever. I've always been very friendly to this guy. And one day we are all at like lunch. I think we're getting lunch and mimosas. And majority of the table is filled with guys. And I think there's like 2 other girls there. But majority of the table is men. We're all talking about something. I have no idea what we're talking about. And this man that I used to talk to, that at the time thought I was friends with, starts telling the table about how he hooked up with me years ago. I don't even think he was saying years ago though. But he starts talking about how he hooked up with me, and then openly in front of this table of men starts talking about my body and what certain parts of my body look like to an entire table while I am sitting at this table with him, which was very disturbing. And I didn't even say anything like in the moment. I just got up and went to the bathroom because what the fuck do you say? But something inside of me like actually broke in that moment, because when you talk to anyone, when you're in a relationship with anyone, whether you guys dated, you talked for a while, whatever it is, and you feel comfortable enough to hook up with them. And I am not someone who has ever been super into hookups or anything. Like, for the most part, anyone I've ever gotten with, which maybe I'm sharing too much, but anyone I've ever gotten with for the most part is someone that I like was either dating or talking to in some way. Like, I feel like I have to be very comfortable to hook up with someone that's just, you know, who I am. That's just, you know, my preferred way of who I want to get with. I don't know. And so for me, like, hooking up with that guy however many years ago, like, I got with him because we were talking, we had a connection, I really liked him back then. And like, me hooking up with him, like, that is such a vulnerable state. Like, it's such a vulnerable moment. And then to sit there years later and have this man that I back then had felt comfortable getting with and being vulnerable with, sitting at a table with him and having him just exploit me to the whole fucking table and start telling them about what it was like to hook up with me and what my body parts look like, what I look like naked while I'm sitting at a fucking table with this man was so disgusting and so disturbing. And I genuinely could not believe that someone that I once felt so comfortable enough to be vulnerable with is now sitting here exposing that part of me. That was really awful, and I'm sure that this has happened to many other women. Like, I've heard guys say disturbing things or just openly talk about like what it was like to get with a girl or like how she performed in bed or whatever. Like, we're fucking porn stars, and it was just really disturbing and disgusting. And I just went to the bathroom and my friend came with me and I wanted to cry. But I think for the rest of the day I was just like, what the fuck? And I think the worst part is that like men just instigate other men. Like, no men are really ever defending anyone, and like it would have been so nice if in that moment like any of those men at the table had some fucking courage and could stand up and be like, hey, it's really fucking weird. Shut the fuck up. Like, don't talk about a woman like that. Like, that would have been really nice. But none of those men cared because they all probably talk about women the exact same way. But I think for me, it like made me even more sad knowing it's really disturbing from the random men that are outside that are doing this stuff. And like, it's really disturbing that, yeah, random men outside have said crazy fucking shit to me and have done really creepy things. But then it's like a whole nother thing for someone that you were comfortable with and were vulnerable with and felt safe around to treat you and talk about you in such a disturbing way at a table you're at, sitting with people you know, and talking about you just like how the men outside do, like you're fucking nothing. So I think that is just a whole nother thing. I know that this was a kind of intense topic and conversation to have, and it's not an easy one to have. But I just feel like as women, it feels like we face consequences for just existing. And I've been sick and tired of it, but I'm just so annoyed by it. And I feel like we're oftentimes told to like keep quiet about it and not talk about it and keep it to ourselves, or like that's really, negative, or like let's not dim down the mood, don't bring that up. Like, that kind of ruins the vibe. And it's like, ruins the vibe for who? Like, these are experiences that women are going through every single day, multiple times a day. Like, this is what is happening. Like, this is how men are treating us. Yeah, it's extremely uncomfortable and negative and disturbing and disgusting, but it's what is happening. Like, this is real life. Like, I wish that I could just be like, oh, that's so negative, I don't want to think about it. Oh, that's so negative, I don't want to talk about it. Like, I wish so much I wish I could say that, but that's not reality. Reality is that we face this and we are going to continue to face this because nobody ever does anything. So I just wanted to, I guess, talk about some experiences that I have been in and some situations that I've been in with men. And I just know that there are so many women that have been in the exact same situations and very similar situations and much worse. And I just wanted to talk about it and bring it to conversation because it's something that is important to me. And it's just unfortunate that we live in a society where Men are so comfortable here. Men are so comfortable here that they say, they do, they act this way, and they continue to do and say and act this way because most of the time nothing ever happens. Like, it's crazy that that man came up to me and yelled that at me because he knew nothing was going to happen to him. He knew that he could say whatever the fuck he wanted to me and no one was going to do anything. He was going to face no consequences. The man that grabbed my ass at the bar, he knew that he could do that and nothing was going to happen. No one was going to care. Like, he was fully aware of that. If they knew something was going to happen, they probably wouldn't do it. But they know that, nothing's going to happen or no one's going to believe the girl because no one ever believes the girl. It's just insane that we live in a society where men are so fucking comfortable here that they are the way that they are. Like, that's just insane. Men are so comfortable on this earth that they do and act and say whatever they want and nobody does anything about it. That is, I guess, what I had to say today to wrap it up. If any of you ever need to talk about anything that revolves around this, like, my DMs are always open. I'm always here, because I know that sometimes it can be really hard to talk about and sometimes you don't have anyone to talk about it with or you feel like nobody gets it. So I get it and I'm here for anyone that would need to talk. My DMs are always open. So I hope everyone can have a good day and I hope that the world gets better. And I hope that one day women are respected as we should be respected. But I hope everyone has as good of a day as they can. And I will catch you guys next week. Bye.